Hey, welcome back for another deep dive.
Always fun.
Today we're tackling a story that I think a lot of people are gonna find, well, really interesting.
Yeah.
It's the life of Johnny Manziel.
Oh, wow.
And, everyone knows him as Johnny Football,
Right.
but we're going way beyond the headlines,
Yeah.
looking at what he's been up to since, leaving the NFL.
Okay.
All right. So we've got some cool sources here.
Interesting
We've got
stuff.
this recent People magazine article.
Okay.
And we also have a really fascinating piece from Cardinal and Cream.
Yeah.
And it's about the Netflix documentary,
Huh?
Untold, Johnny Football.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that.
So get ready, okay? Because we're going to be going on a roller coaster ride here.
Right.
Triumphs, controversies, and some, really genuine self-discovery.
Yeah. I think it's a story that, resonates with a lot of people.
I think so, too.
Yeah. Not just sports fans.
Right.
I think that's why it continues to fascinate us. Right.
Absolutely. Okay. But before we get into his life after football,
Right.
let's rewind a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Let's quickly recap
Okay.
what made him such a phenomenon.
Right.
So remember, Johnny Football,
Oh, yeah.
the Texas A&M quarterback,
Uh-huh.
seemed to defy gravity on the field,
He was amazing to watch.
won the Heisman,
Yes.
became a national sensation.
It was a meteoric rise.
It was.
I mean, almost unprecedented
totally.
for a college player.
Right.
And that Johnny Football persona,
Oh, yeah.
it became larger than life.
It really did.
And, it's important, I think, to understand that intensity
Okay.
because, well, it really sets the stage for everything that followed.
I
Right?
think so. Okay, so then comes the NFL.
Right.
Things take a sharp turn.
Yeah.
There's 2 years with the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Well, let's just say they were a far cry from his, college glory days.
Definitely. And it wasn't just about the on-field performance either. There were those headline-grabbing incidents, right?
Yes.
Like flipping off the opposing team,
Yeah.
the $12,000 fine for that,
Yeah.
partying in Vegas, like in disguise when he was supposed to be with the team.
Right.
This wasn't, just youthful exuberance.
Yeah.
This was like self-sabotage
Yeah.
on a grand scale.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
Yeah.
there was the domestic violence allegation.
Right.
From his ex-girlfriend, Colleen Crowley,
Mm.
early 2016.
Yeah.
And that led to, well, an indictment on misdemeanor assault charges.
Yeah.
So those were later dismissed.
Right.
It felt like,
I know what you mean.
every few weeks there was a new controversy.
It was nonstop.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it just completely overshadowed whatever he was doing, on the field.
It did. And you have to wonder, was it the pressure?
Yeah.
Like the pressure of living up to that Johnny Football hype?
Right.
Was he trying to escape?
Yeah.
Escape the scrutiny through partying?
Yeah.
Or was it something deeper?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a struggle with the darker side of fame?
Right.
Yeah.
It's almost like
Yeah.
like he was trying to outrun his own shadow.
Yeah.
Even as it grew larger with every misstep.
Exactly. And that,
Right.
that struggle to find his place,
Yeah.
it continued
Yeah.
even after the Browns released him
Right.
in
Yeah.
2016.
Yeah.
He bounced around
They did.
from the CFL
Mm-hmm.
to the AAF.
Yeah.
He even tried like some fan-controlled football.
Right.
But that magic,
Yeah.
that spark,
Right.
that made Johnny Football a legend.
Right.
It seemed to have vanished.
Yeah. It did.
Yeah.
Okay. So then in 2018,
Okay.
something shifted.
Interesting.
He publicly acknowledged
Oh, wow.
his struggles
Gotta
with bipolar disorder
Yeah.
and substance abuse.
Wow.
And I remember this really powerful quote from him. Okay.
He said, "There is no job without my mental health. There is no life.
Right.
And there is no family for me without my head."
Yeah. That's really powerful.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a moment of
Like what?
raw honesty.
Yes. Totally.
That I think changed the conversation around him.
It did. It forced people to
Yeah.
look beyond the party boy image.
Yeah.
Right. And recognize that there was, a human being
Right.
wrestling with, some very real demons.
Absolutely.
And it also marked, I think, a turning point for Manziel himself, right?
Yeah.
As he, began to prioritize recovery over, well, everything else.
It's true.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder
Yeah.
if like all those years of chasing wins,
Uh-huh.
of like being Johnny Football,
Yeah.
were actually a way of
Of what?
Masking deeper pain.
It's a question, you know?
Right.
A lot of people struggle with.
Yeah.
Not just athletes.
When your identity, is so closely tied to achievement, to like external validation.
Right.
What happens
Yeah.
when the winds stop coming?
Right.
It's
a great point.
Yeah. So the Netflix documentary,
Okay.
Untold,
Yeah.
Johnny Football,
Mm-hmm.
it explores this period of his life in depth.
Yeah.
And it's pretty raw
It is.
and honest.
Yeah.
A look at his struggles.
Yeah. And we have this great piece from Cardinal and Cream
Okay.
that adds another layer
Interesting.
to the documentary's insights.
Okay.
The author, a former college athlete themselves,
Oh.
really connected with,
Uh-huh.
Manziel's story on a personal level.
Wow. Yeah, you can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I found really fascinating was
Yeah.
like their perspective
Okay.
on the intense pressure
Uh-huh.
that young athletes face,
Yeah.
particularly in,
Like what kind of environments?
high stakes environments, like, college football.
Right.
And they talked about how partying for some
Right.
becomes a way to
To like what?
to cope,
Yeah. Yeah.
to find release
Ah.
from that constant scrutiny and expectation.
Right.
And then the author,
Yeah.
drops this bombshell.
Oh, okay.
They say, out of all the drugs Manziel did,
Hmm.
the drug that led to his ultimate downfall was simply winning.
Wow. That's a powerful statement.
It is.
Yeah.
And it speaks to, I think,
To what?
the addictive nature of success.
Right.
It's almost like, the brain gets hooked
Uh-huh.
on the dopamine rush of victory,
Yeah. Right.
the roar of the crowd,
Yeah.
the media attention,
Right.
the feeling of being on top.
Yeah.
It's intoxicating.
It is.
And for someone like Manziel, whose identity was so intertwined
Yeah.
with Johnny Football,
Mhm.
losing could feel like withdrawal.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
He was chasing that high.
Right.
Even if it meant, self-destructive behavior.
That's a really interesting way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder,
Yeah.
if the support systems around him had been stronger, could things have played out differently?
Mhm.
Maybe if someone had recognized the warning signs,
Earlier.
Yeah, earlier.
A tough question, isn't
Yes,
it?
it is.
Like it's easy to look back and say,
Right.
what if?
Exactly.
But I think, it also highlights the
Yeah.
need for more awareness
Oh,
and
yeah.
support for
Yeah.
mental health.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Not just in sports,
Right.
but in like all aspects of life.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
And I think Manziel's story is, a reminder that even those who seem to have it all, the talent,
Mm-hmm.
the fame,
Yeah.
the fortune,
It's true.
can still be struggling
Silently.
silently. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a call for
Yeah.
more compassion,
Absolutely.
more understanding,
Yeah.
and less judgment,
I agree.
Yeah.
We tend to put celebrities
Yeah.
on a pedestal,
Uh-huh.
but they're human beings,
They are.
just like us,
Totally.
with their own vulnerabilities
Yeah.
and struggles.
It's true.
And sometimes, like
Right.
the pressure of living in the spotlight
Yeah.
can,
Right.
exacerbate those struggles.
Okay, so let's fast forward to now. The People magazine article
Yeah.
paints, a very different picture of his life these days.
Right.
He's living in Scottsdale, Arizona,
Oh, wow.
focusing on golf,
Okay.
and seems to be embracing
Yeah.
a slower pace.
Hmm. Interesting.
It's a world away
Yeah.
from the chaos
Right.
of his NFL days.
It seems like he's found some peace
Yeah.
away from,
Uh-uh.
the constant scrutiny
Right.
and pressure.
It's true.
He even has a podcast, Glory Days,
Oh, I didn't know that.
where he interviews other athletes
Interesting.
about their
Yeah.
experiences.
This is good.
And what's interesting is
Yeah.
that he's chosen to focus on other athletes' stories.
That is.
It's like he's using his platform
Yeah.
to,
Explore.
explore the complexities of
Right.
athletic fame,
Yeah.
but from a different perspective.
Right.
Maybe even like processing his own journey.
That's a really insightful
Yeah.
observation. It's not,
Right.
about him being the center of attention anymore,
Exactly.
but rather about listening to and understanding others
Right?
who have
Yeah.
walked a similar path.
It's true. It's true.
Do you think he's seeking answers through these conversations?
yeah.
Or is it more about, offering a platform for these often untold struggles?
I think it's, a bit of both.
Okay.
On the one hand, hearing other athletes talk about their battles with pressure, addiction, or mental health probably helps him process his own demons.
Right.
But it's also clear that he's trying to use his platform for something,
Positive,
to shine a light on these issues and maybe like help others avoid the same pitfalls.
That's a good point.
It's a way of turning, his past struggles into something
meaningful. It's interesting though that even as he's trying to build this new life off the field, he keeps getting pulled back into the spotlight.
Interesting.
That People magazine article mentioned how he recently appeared on Selling Sunset.
Oh, wow.
With his ex-wife, Bray Tisi.
Go.
That's a reality show.
Right.
Not exactly low-key.
Right. There's this push and pull between, his desire for a more private life and the lingering fascination with Johnny Football.
Yeah.
And that appearance on Selling Sunset.
Yeah.
Embodies that tension.
Right.
It makes you wonder if he can ever truly escape the shadow of his past.
It's a good question.
Or if that persona will always be a part of his story.
Do you think he's actively trying to, shed the Johnny Football image? Or is it something that he's come to terms with?
Right.
Maybe even
embraced
in a way.
Based on, his recent interviews and the focus of his podcast.
Right.
It seems like he's trying to redefine himself to, show the world that he's more than just that persona.
Right.
But at the same time, he acknowledges that Johnny Football is a part of his story.
Yeah.
A chapter that he can't erase.
I see.
It's a complex balancing act.
It is.
And I think he's still figuring it out as he goes.
It's like he's trying to reclaim his narrative to tell his story on his own terms.
On his own terms, yeah.
And the fact that he's willing to be
I know, right.
so open about his struggles, both past and present.
It's true.
It's pretty remarkable.
It is.
It takes, a lot of courage to be that vulnerable in the public eye.
It does. It does.
And I think that honesty is what resonates with people.
I think so too.
It's a reminder that we all have our own journeys. Our own triumphs and setbacks. Yeah. And sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is share our stories and connect with others who have walked a similar path.
Well said.
Speaking of sharing stories, that Cardinal and Cream article about the, Untold Johnny Football documentary really highlighted the author's personal connection to the film, being, a former college athlete themselves.
Oh, yeah.
They were able to, relate to the pressure cooker environment and the allure of partying as a way to escape. Their insights added a whole new dimension to the documentary. It wasn't just about Manziel's individual experience, but about the systemic pressures that contribute to these kinds of situations.
Interesting.
The author even said, out of all the drugs Manziel did, the drug that led to his ultimate downfall was simply winning.
Wow, that really struck a chord with me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And you said earlier that, winning can be like a drug, a dopamine rush that becomes addictive.
Yes.
Could you elaborate on that a bit more?
Yeah.
What does that look like in practice?
Think about it.
Okay.
You're constantly striving for that next victory, that next high.
Yeah.
The thrill of competition, the adulation of the crowd, the feeling of being on top.
Right.
It becomes all-consuming.
Yeah.
And for someone like Manziel, whose identity was
so intertwined, with Johnny Football, losing probably felt like a withdrawal, a crushing blow to his ego.
Yeah,
he was chasing that high, even if it meant, self-destructive,
behavior.
It's true. So in a way, his early success might have actually set him up for a harder fall later on.
Yeah.
It created this persona that became both a blessing and a curse.
Exactly.
I know.
And it raises the question.
Oh, okay.
How do we find a healthy balance between, striving for success and protecting our mental well-being?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
How do we define ourselves beyond our achievements?
Yeah.
Especially in a culture that often equates worth with winning.
It's a question, we all grapple with in different ways.
We do. Yeah. It's a question we all grapple with in different ways, right?
It is.
Like what defines us?
Exactly.
If it's our accomplishments, our possessions, or something deeper.
I think Manziel's journey forces us to confront those questions head on.
I think you're right. And it reminds us that true fulfillment often comes from finding meaning and purpose beyond,
beyond external validation.
External validation, that's right.
Speaking of meaning and purpose, Manziel's podcast, Glory Days, seems to be like a big part of his life now.
Right.
He's interviewing other athletes, exploring their highs and lows, and having some, pretty candid conversations about the challenges of fame and fortune.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how he's, using his platform to delve into these complex topics.
True.
It's almost like, he's offering a behind-the-scenes look at the world of professional sports.
Right.
Exposing,
the vulnerabilities,
their abilities and struggles that are often hidden from public view.
It's true. And by interviewing other athletes, it allows him to
explore these themes.
Yeah, explore these themes without necessarily making it all about himself.
Right. It creates a safe space for vulnerability and shared experiences.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
He's not just, recounting his own story.
Yeah.
He's facilitating a dialogue about the human side of athletic achievement.
Okay. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Johnny Manziel's life, after the NFL, what are the key takeaways?
Yeah, what's the lasting impression this journey has left on you?
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's a powerful reminder that the pursuit of success can come at a cost.
Yeah.
And that true fulfillment often lies in finding balance, meaning, and connection, beyond external achievement.
It's true. It's also a call for more compassion, for an understanding towards those who struggle with mental health.
Absolutely.
Especially, those in high-pressure environments.
Like professional sports.
Like professional sports, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it underscores the importance of having, strong support systems, people who can recognize the warning signs and offer help.
Yeah.
Before things,
spiral out of control.
Spiral out of control. It's true. It's a reminder that we all need someone in our corner. Someone who sees us for who we are beyond our accomplishments or failures.
Well said.
And I think Manziel's story is ultimately one of hope and resilience.
He's still figuring things out.
Right.
But he's on a path of self-discovery and growth.
And it's a journey that's far from over.
It is.
Who knows what the next chapter holds for him?
It'll be fascinating to watch.
It will, and hopefully it'll inspire others.
Right.
To prioritize their mental health.
Seek
help when they need it.
Yes.
And redefine what success truly means to them.
Absolutely.
Well, that's about all the time we have.
Okay.
For today's deep dive.
All right.
But if you're interested in exploring this story further, we highly recommend checking out those sources we mentioned. Absolutely.
The People magazine article, the Cardinal and Cream piece, and of course the Netflix documentary Untold. Johnny Football.
It's a good one.
They all offer, unique perspectives.
Unique perspectives, yes.
On this complex and compelling journey.
It's a story that prompts reflection, sparks conversation, and reminds us that even those who seem to have it all can face internal battle.
Yes.
It's a testament to the power of vulnerability.
Maybe agree.
The importance of support.
Yeah.
And the enduring human spirit.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
My pleasure.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Keep exploring.
Keep exploring.
Keep learning.
Keep learning.
And keep asking those tough questions.
Absolutely.